Love Life Outreach Construction Company specializes in new build, remodeling, and repair projects. Love Life Outreach Construction Company can build or have your house looking new in no time. For more information, simply call 317-991-3150 or simply visit our website, llovt.net, for a free quote. Call today. Love Life Outreach Construction Company works for you. Call 317-991-3150. You'll be glad that you did.
Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call Ox Car Care for details.
Attention all Americans with cars who've been hurt financially during the challenging times of 2020. The last thing you need now is an unexpected repair bill for your car that you can't afford. Here's some good news. You could stop paying for car repairs. That's right. If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, you might not have to pay a penny to have it repaired. Just call 800-958-8413 right now to see if your car qualifies for a plan. You must have an automobile made from 1999 or higher, and all repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Call 800-958-8413 today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Plus, free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Just call 800-958-8413 now to see if your car qualifies. That's 800-958-8413. Never pay for car repairs again. Just call 800-958-8413. That's 800-958-8413.
Now more than ever, people want to know if there's anything they can do to help. And the answer is yes, at BioLife Plasma Services. Your plasma is desperately needed to create life-changing medicines to help treat people with immune deficiencies, those who are most at risk right now. And when you donate plasma at BioLife, you can earn up to $1,000 the first month as a token of appreciation for your time. So please, become BioLife. Visit biolifeplasma.com to learn more.
The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio 1, WTLC 10, 92.7 FM, 95.1 FM, The Light, and its management.
Black people need to own our own business, which will provide an economic base. Teach our youth to become self-sufficient, learn how to maximize our political affiliations, and fight for criminal justice reform. You just tuned in to Black Power Presents with your host, Antonio Lipscomb. Come on, let's talk.
All right, family, it's yours truly, Antonio Lipscomb. I'm your host, Black Power Presents, and it look like we're going to have another wonderful, wonderful broadcast for you. I have some special guests with me today, speaking on Black businesses and the need for this Black Chamber of Commerce to come together here in Indianapolis. And I have with me Thomas Griffin. I guess they used to call him Thomas Sparkle Socks Griffin that's with us today. And also we will momentarily be having our associate pastor with Community Church Indy, Ricky Cease, which is going to also be a guest with us. I believe he's going to be calling in shortly. Mr. Griffin, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I can hear you perfectly.
All right. And if I can hear you, I'm quite sure our radio listening audience hears you as well. Now, listen, on last week, we had a very, very great conversation. I believe Dr. Brown was with us. Thomas Brown was with us, as well as I believe we had another gentleman with the medical profession that's with you guys. And I know I'm losing his name right now, but he's a great, phenomenal guy who's working with the chamber in relations to therapy and mental health. And he talked about this need for Black businesses to come together so that we could work together. And he pointed all roads toward the chamber and the need for Black businesses to come and be part of the chamber. What do you think about something like that?
Well, first and foremost, one of the things that we in the Black community do, and we do it on a regular basis, is that we have a tendency to not want to work together.
Right.
And if you have an idea or a plan or something that's working for you, and it's a great idea, why can't we come together, two separate entities, to work your plan, and then all of us succeed? there's an old saying that says, a rising tide raises all the boats.
Right.
So I think it's a great idea. And as a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons that I got involved with the Black Chamber. I used to be involved with Indiana Black Expo, but my vision or my mission or my passion, should I say, is more aligned with what's going on with the Black Chamber.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And I have with me also Pastor Rick Cease, which is one of our associate pastors at a community church, Indy. How you doing, brother? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can hear you very well. Trying to see you on StreamYard. I guess that didn't work out. I guess if you want to try later on, that'd be fine. We're also on Facebook. If you go on Antonio Lipscomb, you can see us on Facebook as well as YouTube. Black Power Presents. We come on every week from the hours of 6 to 7 p.m. And listen, this is a community show, so we want you to be involved. You can call in anytime. 317-239-1310 is the number to call. And we're just talking about this ideal of Black businesses collaborating together, the Indiana Black Chamber of Commerce. Now, tell me a little bit about the Black Chamber, if you will, Mr. Thomas.
No problem whatsoever. And I laugh at people when they use the term "back in the day."
Okay.
But back in the day, Indianapolis had a Black Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of supported by Bill Crawford, who was a politician in the city of Indianapolis.
Right.
The last young person that I remember that ran that organization was named Teray Dabney.
Okay.
And when Bill Crawford passed on, it kind of fell off a little bit. And then because Bill was connected with the political powers,
right,
he was always able to make sure that the Black Chamber had a voice at the table.
Okay.
One of the sayings that Bill Crawford used to always say is that if you're not sitting at the table, then you must be on the menu.
Right.
And so his thing was to make sure that the Black Chamber prospered.
Right.
Well, once he passed on, things kind of fell through the cracks.
Okay.
So about 8 years ago, Larry Williams, who has a company called Raleigh Security,
okay,
his mother, Anita Williams, decided that it's time for us to try to get a Black Chamber started again.
Right.
They had a company, they had a business, and the business just wasn't getting any respect, and the business wasn't getting any contracts or
right,
some of the bigger contracts.
Right.
So they set out to go and partner with Anderson, Indiana,
okay,
because there is a Black Chamber in Anderson.
Okay.
And they studied under the Anderson Black Chamber for about 3 years to try to glean and garner as much information as they could.
Right.
And then in 2015, Larry and Anita came back to Indianapolis, and then they started the new Indy Black Chamber of Commerce.
Wow. Okay. And how long has that been running?
Since 2015.
Since 2015. It always amazes me when you give that number, because that's around the same time I actually launched my vocational training school the same year. So I guess it was something.
Think about it, that's 5 years going on 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So from one perspective, that was a long time ago.
Right.
From another perspective, that was just yesterday.
And it seems like it's just yesterday.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of other organizations have a longer track record. However, it seems as though when it comes to the including of Black businesses, it seems as though we're always kind of left hanging. And it's not necessarily because I think the powers to be does that. I think sometimes the way we do things affect how things are being done.
Yeah.
So, if we just not shopping with one another, we're not supporting one another, we don't believe in one another, then consequently we see this depravity in Black businesses because we're not getting our own to shop with us. It just seems as though, I guess they were saying before, the white man's ice is colder, so to speak.
Right.
Whatever they were saying. I know there's a saying. I know I'm messing
up. The ice is colder, the grass is greener, all of that.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah. So I have this show, Black Power Presents, just to kind of bring about uplifting of the morale and the consciousness of black businesses believing in one another. You know, it's not to exclude anybody or make anybody feel a certain way, but it's just to say, hey, you know, we matter. Black businesses matter too, right? And we want to be at the table, and we want to do good businesses. And I do business, especially in the city of Indianapolis.
Right.
Indianapolis is the 12th largest city in America. So we can do good business in America within the 12th largest city that's in America, which 23% of those people are African American people. If we can get that wrong, then I think that would be a beacon for what's needed across the country. Am I right, Mr. Griffin?
Well, two things I think. First of all, we as a black community need to change our mindset. So, yes, you're correct in that regard. But then we also need to hold our politicians accountable.
Okay.
So, and I tell you a perfect example. I live around 37th Central area,
okay,
in the heart of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So in my neighborhood, there's a Pond Malls Barbecue. There's Central Seafood. There's another black business. I'm trying to think. I'm not too far from Williamson's Fish Market.
Mm-hmm.
There's businesses in my neighborhood within a 10-minute drive that I go to and support, and I don't have to go out to the suburbs, other areas to find some of the meals or the food that I would like to buy. The problem in the black community in some instances, though, is that we don't have very many businesses in the heart of our community.
Right.
If we do find one, we need to support that business so it does not go away.
Right. Well, Doc Cease, I see you there, man, sitting there waiting patiently. Another entrepreneur, strong advocate in the finance area. Matter of fact, him and his lovely wife is joining our ministry this Sunday, and they come in with a storm blazing. I mean, they're trailblazing an area of where the faith community, a lot of times we hadn't talked about how we are to empower our members to talk about finance and financing, how to be financed and how to invest and so forth. And he's done a wonderful job at educating us and as it relates to giving and receiving. And Ricky, just tell us about what you do real quick.
Okay. First off, I'm
okay. Now, Mrs. Because you didn't call in, we're not going to be able to hear you. So I want you to call that number that we asked you to call, 317-239-1310, so that we can actually hear your voice. While you're making that call, I do have Larry on the line. Larry, what's your comment or question?
Hey, let me let you in on something, Anthony. Back in 1971, when Black Expo started, right?
Okay.
We had businesses that could do highway work. We had brick masons that could do large jobs like it's going on now. But what happened is Black Expo came out with the idea, and they lured these businesses out of their realm. We were doing the work for black and white people. So what they lured them out, and then they got all the information dumped on the table. I think if we had a strong black chamber of commerce, we would go downtown and look at that application that you have to fill out before you can do business with the city. Where something your guts on the table and telling people how much money you're making. That's the works of businesses. You don't tell nobody how much money you got or how much you making or how you getting your money. If you do that, you're letting them in, and the first thing they do is they take that information and destroy it. I know a lot of black businessmen who were in business here in the city. Larry Warren, Paul was in businesses. The Dowdy certainly had concrete finishing wrapped up here in this city. And the Warrens had brick masons wrapped up here in the city. You know what happened? They came to Black Expo. They dumped their guts on the table. They got state contracts. But what happened is they got cut out of it shortly after. So and you can see, Thomas, while people are now putting their guts on the table, and you know that it's going to be used against you, whatever indiscrepancy you have in your business, if you haven't paid a quarter of taxes, certainly if you turn that into Indianapolis, they're going to turn you over to the authorities. So I just think we lost our best Yes, sir. But we were segregated. Now we don't have a chance.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling, Larry. Let me say this before we go to Mr. Ricky, because we got him back online. But before we go to that, Mr. Griffin, did you hear what Larry said? Do you have a comment on that? Before I go to him, I just wanted to give you that respect and let you comment on that.
Yeah, and I'll do a short comment. For folks that don't know, I used to be a radio DJ on WTLC AM and FM. I also used to be the host of the talk show called The Bottom Line with Willie Frank Middlebrook. And I also used to be the president of the Indianapolis chapter, not the state, the Indianapolis chapter of Indiana Black Expo.
Okay.
I do know that Expo has possibly done some things over the past that the community doesn't agree with.
Okay.
I don't know for sure if what Larry is saying is factual.
Okay.
But I will agree with him in this regard.
Mm-hmm.
That is, when we were segregated,
okay,
we had to utilize our own businesses, in our community, because that was our only option. We had a strong black business base.
Okay.
Once integration came in, a lot of us black people chose to leave our black businesses behind and go elsewhere, which obviously directly hurt black business.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know what? It's so much of what happened in the past, and when you're not connected with that past, you feel like it's non and void because, I mean, okay, of course it's to know what happened, but at the same time, there's so much opportunity that presents itself today and all of the stimulus money and care money and all this thing. It's hard to just look so far back and start talking about what was instead of looking at what we can do to make it better.
Exactly.
Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Exactly. So here's what we both know. Everybody has a past.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with knowing or understanding your past.
Right.
But if you continue to live in the past, you're not going to go forward.
Yeah, I think that was good instructions when the Lord told Lot's wife not to look back because, I mean, things didn't turn out good for her. But let me... Hey, I got jokes, Mr. Griffin. I'll pull one out every now and then, sir. Hey, Mr. Cease, I see you're with us, and I think we got your voice. Hey, brother, go ahead and tell us about what you're doing. I think you're going to be impressed with him, Mr. Griffin.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Well, it's an honor to be on a call with you, gentlemen. I take this opportunity. I don't take this opportunity lightly. But real quick, my background, of course, in finance for the past 15 years. I started off in the insurance industry, which my wife is currently in now. So I started off doing, of course, insurance and then lightweight annuities and so just, real brief intro into the financial products on the insurance side. And then I got, of course, off into the investment banking side. Started off at a firm downtown Chicago, Madison Street Capital. So always been in sales, been in marketing, been an entrepreneur in various things, but finance was it for me. So once I became an investment banker, it was on from there. So started off there and then moved to Atlanta, ended up hooking up with a company called Banking Capital there. It's a black female that had her own company there in Atlanta, hooked up with her, and then the rest was history. But once I started off in that, doing MCAs, equipment leasing, lines of credit, and then moved into the bigger margins with the firm that I'm currently with now, which is Duckfield Capital out of London, and we're doing investment banking products. So what we do is raise capital for clients that are looking to, of course, build projects, or clients that are looking to start projects all over the world. So typically my margins are in the millions, starting at 10 million for people that's looking at projects, all up into the billions of dollars. So we have relationships with high net worth individuals, family offices. Of course, we have the traditional banks, and then we have debt and equity and venture capitalists. So we pull from every funding metric in terms of being able to serve clients. So that could get interesting, but that's just, the premise. That's my day-to-day, and I actually love what I do.
I told you, Mr. Griffin, he's heavy, man. He's heavy, Doc. And check this out. Check this out.
Yep.
He's joined our church. Him and his lovely wife, Shanita, joined our church this Sunday. And before they joined, they actually started teaching financial literacy at church. So instead of we getting and God said, and we ain't doing all that. We slowing the church down, and we making sure folks can get their credit fixed. Can I get a round of applause for that? Yeah. Thank you. You know, we're not trying to preach to folks and not show them how to manage their finances well. A lot of times we want to talk about how much people gave, but how often are we talking about the well-being and wealth of individuals who come to the church or people who are in the community that needs this education? Because it's not limited to just the people in the church. Anyone can come and be a part of these seminars. And Pastor Ricky, just give them a little bit of what you've been talking about. And I'm leading this somewhere because I'm trying to get the Black Chamber of Commerce to come with us next month to bring about these businesses and especially this mental health piece. But go ahead and share what you've been doing for these last few Sundays.
Yep. So we're teaching, of course, a 4-week. We're doing April was the financial literacy, and that's literally for the United States. April is financial literacy month, and it was just happened to go hand in hand with us this month being able to teach it. So the first week we started off with how did money come about? How did money start? And so a lot of people don't know how did money start with the barter system, then moving to the gold, and then moving to the MOUs and to the paper, and then what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
We are growing in terms of the digital side. I won't speak on it now, but of course that's the future. But we are very strategic and linear in terms of getting very involved on the digital side, because that's where the future is moving outside of the paper bill. So we get into digital currency. So this week I just taught on the accumulation phase.
Mm-hmm.
How to now we know the money, but the accumulation phase and then the energy of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that was how money has an energy. A lot of people they don't understand that, but we talk with our words and power. We can say when somebody say, "Man, I'm broke," or "I can't do this," or "I can't pay that." Well, that's the energy and that's the belief, and those people are usually stuck in their financial situation.
Right.
This week we talked about the accumulation phase, accumulate money, and then the energy of money, which is very powerful. This week coming up, his wife will be talking about the credit piece, which is, very important. And then we'll end on the structure of banks, the digital currency side, and then investing, so forth and so on. So it gets critical and it gets interesting over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss it. We're going to be in 4501 East 32nd Street. We're located right in the Him by Her Collegiate School of Arts building. We have a church service going on in the auditorium. And right during church, we're not separating anything. We're teaching people how to have good financial literacy, awareness, making sure financially people are able to understand how they're working. It sounds like we're moving toward getting the credit fixed and investing, and of course access to capital. Now, when you think about things like this, Mr. Griffin, I think we all know the church has been accused of a lot of different things, and we're trying to right the wrong of that and making sure that these businesses get access to credit and properly invest their income in a way of whatever they're making, to make sure they make good, wise choices and investment on that income that's coming in. These are the things that we're talking about. And Mr. Griffin, would you agree that some of the reasons why some of the black businesses are not sustainable is because of the lack of access to capital?
Well, I'm hearing about three things.
Okay.
First thing he explained was basically personal finance.
Right.
Individuals get their financial brain together so they know how to move and move their money and work their money and have their money work for them.
Right.
Then the second thing that you were kind of alluding to was businesses, and how we as a black community need to enhance and support our businesses.
Yeah.
And then the third thing you just asked me was about finance, which obviously for folks that are trying to start a business or people that are in business, they need to be made aware of that. And it's so funny you asked that question because the Black Chamber has something coming up real soon that's going to address some of those things about business and the COVID and the SBA and all that on April the 22nd.
Wow.
So, you know, all these things should be tied in.
Right.
One of the things that I really wish that more of our radio stations would do and more of our programs would do. We must all come together.
That's right.
So I'll give you a real quick deal. The Indiana Black Chamber of Commerce, we have a civic involvement committee.
Okay.
And so the civic involvement committee, we have something called virtual office hours. And all it really is a day to talk to somebody from the SBA, Small Business Administration, and somebody from Congressman Carson's office to see how minority business, black businesses, can connect with politicians, connect with the Small Business Administration to get funding.
Wow.
So that's going to take place on April the 22nd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can, it's like a Zoom call. You just go to the Black Chamber, you can, register, put in your information, and you're in.
Wow.
And so, again, that's a step, not the answer. And just what your guest is saying, all these are steps. But we need to pass the word and let everybody know what's out here, because I may not need the personal financial assistance, but I might need my business financial assistance. If you follow.
Right. Well, all those pieces are definitely critical and crucial to keeping things better. I guess I got a theme, Mr. Griffin, for this period of time here in Indianapolis. I would just like to see how we can make Indianapolis better. So, make Indianapolis better has been my theme, especially throughout this COVID season, as well as the homicides that's taking place. And of course, you can sleep better at night if you got your finances in order in spite of a loved one being sick, and you're able to take care of those medical bills and have them go to certain doctors and whatnot, as well as the homicides. I mean, some of these people probably would do better if they were business owners or homeowners or people who, had a different style of life, like different lifestyle.
Or just financially able. And some of the violence that happens in our community could be traced back to a need for financial stability.
Yeah.
I'm not working, so I'm going to take what you have. I'm going to borrow some money from you, and I'm not going to pay you back. I'm going to steal something from you. All those things won't happen or won't transpire if you have a living wage or you're in a position to sustain and take care of yourself.
That's right.
So many of us can't and don't, and therein lies the problem.
Well, that is.
Look,
go ahead.
Here's a double negative to that. Not only that, in our culture, mainly the lack of economics or to have their financial stability in the home is, that percentage is well under 50%. Now that's in the home. Now let's take a look at the city. Now the city doesn't have any revenue. Now the city can't build the parks. Now we don't have the proper education. We don't have the proper amenities for a city to have for entertainment or to be able to host different things or to be able to have after school programs or different things for these children. That takes dollars. That takes money. That takes capital. So from the city level, from your local community level, all the way down to the home is lacking finance.
Yeah.
Now that's how we can see the trickling effect to how these underserved communities and how these individuals is acting out. That's the deeper problem.
That's right. And, I think that you raised a good point, Mr. Griffin, when you talked about the political side as well as the faith-based side. And I think that opportunity to be able to talk to somebody from Andre Carson's office, I think that is just a phenomenal, to talk to the, Small Business Administration and talk to that office. And then, of course, you got investors right in your own community that you have access to, such as Pastor Rick. And so I think we need to figure out how we can do events to collaborate. Now, I'm going to tell you, Mr. Middle, I think Mr. middle. Oh God, I got his name in my head. On last week, I'm just a little tired, so sometimes I don't remember. Middleton. I think is Greg Middleton. He's the one that told me about you. Are you familiar with him?
Are you talking to Thomas?
Thomas, yeah.
Okay, there's a gentleman that's involved with the Black Chamber named George Middleton.
George Middleton, and I don't. He could probably. He really has a right to slap me upside the hip for not being able to call his name. I'm just a little tired, and I do apologize. Sometimes I just butcher people's names and stuff, but this guy is a phenomenal man. He has a great practice, mental health practice, and I think that collaborating with what we're talking about with this mental health piece and letting us showcase off some of these financial businesses that gives access to capital and whatnot. I want to see how y'all can come do this next month at our church. I really want you to come. I promised the church that we will be personally cleaning out our closet, and we want to deal with things in a healthy way. We want a healthy mind, healthy heart, healthy soul. And Mr. Griffin, I really want us to come together collaboratively in the Him by Her Collegiate School, R4501 East 32nd Street. I want us to come together and have these opportunities to be given to some of the people that's hurting for it the most.
Well, first of all, let me say George Middleton is a member of the new Indy Black Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And I know he's working on some mental health programs to help people.
Yeah.
As far as the other guests, another issue that I'm sure you all delve into is something I always wanted to start. I'm not great at starting businesses, but I said, well, somebody needs to start something called the Better Choice Academy. Because one of the problems, or one of the big problems, is we in the Black community make bad financial choices. And I'm sure that they teach that when you have your training. Then the last thing is, let's be honest, our politicians have failed us and our churches have failed us. And if we can get both our politicians and our churches back on point, a lot of the problems we have in our community, we could take care of ourselves.
You're right. You know what? I got a good friend, Representative John L. Bartlett. He does a wonderful job at serving the community. And I got another friend, Councilman Keith Graves. He comes onto our prayer line and he gives us the city report. I'm going to ask both those gentlemen next month when we plan to have some featuring of Black businesses as well as Black health providers, therapists, and whatnot. We will look to feature at our church. I'm going to ask them to stop by, and maybe we can open it up for questions. One of the things that we also are doing is community safe space, where we're going out into the community on one Sunday, and the next Sunday we're bringing all the youth in, the gymnasium and whatnot. And so we want to continue this type of work. I've had Dr. Dorothy Heron line. She's been waiting very patiently. Hey, Dr. Heron, how you doing? Did you got a comment or question? You want to kind of chime in here a little bit?
I'm doing quite well, and I don't mind listening because I'm learning that not only have we opened up a brand new community church, Indy, but we have opened up our community. We started cleaning. We physically came out by cleaning, but we got hope in our community now. We got hope, and I'm so thankful for Pastor Ricky and you guys teaming up, and Detective Dunn, and all of these powerful men that's bringing their women with them for us to make a difference in the Indianapolis area, and we're going to spread, y'all. We're just getting started, and I just want to say how excited I am that no longer are we talking about dope, but we have brought hope to our community that's on the block, y'all. Hallelujah.
Amen. You know what? She's a preacher. Y'all don't know, but Dr. Dorothy Heron also attends our church on a regular basis. I consider her to be a member of our church, and she is doing phenomenal work. She's always fighting for higher education, Martin University and other places. She's trying to make sure she makes a difference everywhere that she goes. And so we're so very thankful for your wonderful blessings and comment. Heron, you got anything else you want to share?
I just want to hang on and listen.
Amen. Well, God bless you, Dr. Heron.
All right.
And listen, guys, we on the start of something fresh new. I think we need to keep the momentum going as the weather's change. It seems like the crime goes up, the homicides goes up, and I think we have to plan a counterattack to that before we get there. And so, what we talked about is this mental component that Mr. Griffin was talking about. It was relations to how we think about money and how to spend, and some of that can go back toward needing mental help because we've been so oppressed in this country for so long. We have to feel like we want to prove ourselves by buying this and buying that. We become consumer slaves. And so now it's time to see how we can get some type of balance mentally. And so what I'm asking from you, Mr. Griffin, if you would, let's see how we can get the businesses that are already with the chamber, and also let's see how we can recruit some new businesses. I don't believe Pastor Ricky, he's a part of the chamber. He talked to me today, and I believe he's interested in being a part of the chamber. So we want to add to the chamber. We want to get more businesses. We want to showcase some of the businesses that's already out there. We want to put it on social media. And you know what? What we can do is put God first. And, come on out to the service, put God first, and let's see what happens.
Well, it's so fun to say that because one of the things that sticks out of my mind, again, we as Black people want to always be the one that called the meeting.
Yeah.
We want to be important. We want to be in charge. And we very seldom want to swallow our pride and work together.
Right.
There are 3 young ladies in the city of Indianapolis that I think are doing a phenomenal job. And I've just been thinking that if we could get those 3 young ladies together, we'd have some awesome things. One young lady has just done an event. She just did it at the fairgrounds Saturday. It's called the She Event.
Right.
And that thing is just blowing up. It's popping all over the place. And she's only been doing it for 5 or 6 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
There's another young lady who has something called Black Dollar, and that's DOLA, and it's on Facebook. And what she does is she has a venue, an opportunity for people to brag about Black businesses that they've come in contact with, utilize. And then there's a third young lady that has a Black business directory.
Okay.
And what she does with that is you can go to her website and just find out. Go under plumbing, and there's a list of plumbers. But all 3 of those entities are operating on their own. And just imagine if all 3 of those entities came together with the Black Chamber, and now you have a stronghold of Black mindset to try to help everybody.
Right.
But we so busy staying in our own little lane, we don't understand it's up to us to save us. And the old Black Expo mantra used to be, working together works.
Wow, okay. I used to say that.
Add to that. Let me add to that.
Go ahead.
Mr. Gray, I had just told Pastor Sunday in the congregation, and I mentioned it on last Sunday. Us, culture, we have everything. Yes. We have 1.7 right now. Our culture has $1.7 trillion to spend. We haven't spent. How do you look at that? Because we're spending it already.
Right.
Yeah. We are consumer. We are the largest consumers on earth. Us 1.7 in spending. So watch this. We have all the education. We have all the talents. We have the gifts. We have the positions. We have the companies. We have everything as a culture. The money, we cannot say like you say, to be self-sustainable, to take back our communities. We have it all as a culture right now.
Right.
We cannot say we lack anything. What we lack is the cohesiveness of what you're mentioning, us together collectively. Yes. One band, one sound.
That's right. Let me say this to you guys. Do you guys mind taking another call? I got Ron on the line.
Oh, no.
Okay, go ahead, Ron, with your question.
Antonio, and I know Thomas. Is there a third person?
Yeah, Pastor Ricky. Pastor Ricky Cease is on the line with us.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good day.
I was going to ask about, and I think you said the wife does the credit piece.
That's right.
More importantly, though, I was going to ask, I didn't hear the church name again.
The church name is Community Church Indy. And if you want to check it out, we're communitychurchindy.org. You started a website. Feel free to go on Community Church Indy.
Where are they located?
Right now, we're worshiping in 4501 East 32nd Street in Him by Her Collegiate School of Arts. We prefer that location. We believe that that's one of the heartbeat of the community in relations to healing and wellness for children, as well as have some opportunities for adults. I actually have a vocational training school inside the building as well. So there's so many different opportunities that's happening in Him by Her Collegiate School of Arts at 4501 East 32nd Street. And they have open enrollment right now.
Now, let me ask also, I often listen to Thomas on Harambe.
Okay.
And I thought at one time or another they were looking for a place where they could bring the community in, and rather than having a 1 hour radio talk show that goes away so quickly and not much can get done, I thought they were going to try to find a place that they might be able to hold a meeting of some sort that would allow for something like that to happen. I didn't know if they'd had a chance to talk to you all about that yet.
Ron, that's a great thing. Me and Mr. Griffin have been talking about that. Mr. Brown is obviously a great mentor of mine. He's actually the one, Dr. Thomas Brown, he's actually the one who named the show for me, Black Power Presents. So that lets you know how much I respect him. We're going to look at that a lot closer. And what I'm trying to push for is maybe once sometime to see how we can really go after this business and mental health and wellness piece. I know that he's real open to what we're trying to do. He's been a great supporter, great spiritual leader who has a lot of wealth and knowledge. And of course, Thomas knows this because he's with him quite often. So yeah, we'll definitely look at maybe sometime next month doing some level of big collaboration on all these things.
If I could ask, and I think Pastor Rick mentioned the sums of money that he talks about beginning somewhere in the $10 million range.
Pastor Rick? Yeah, as far as loans and money that's available to people.
What about those of us who don't have a $10 million mindset at the time?
Well, here's the thing. So my company, which is called FITEL, is short for Financial Intelligence. We're launching right now to be able to service those that are looking between $250K all the way up to about $2 million. So right now, I decided Q1 of this year or 2021 to open the division to get back into the smaller clients and the smaller loans, because that make up a large part of small businesses. So yeah, we have those funders available.
Does your wife or you help with obtaining business credit or learning how to obtain business credit?
Yeah, well, we're already working on the business credit. Well versed in that. The Dun and Brad, properly getting the credit cards and the business lines of credit and how to build the business credit. We're learning that right now, but we have all that in place with our company. But that's not the next opportunity in terms of
Did you say what was the next opportunity to learn at the church, or is it just are there times?
Yeah, I mean, Pastor Rick, this is what he does for a living. So
what he's trying to ask is there any continuing training seminars or training programs for somebody who can try to get that information other than having to go to church on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we're answering that. I think I said that you can contact Pastor Ricky direct, and he can help. If you got some individual questions that you want to try to get this thing started, just contact him direct. He'll be able to help you.
And what
Yeah, I have all the information, but here's what I want to say. We were talking to Pastor today because we're going to move into May into our consecration month. But we talked about continuing these services and this training because we know finance is paramount.
Right.
So yeah, we're working on the month of May and continuing on to have these available. So absolutely, we're going to keep this going for the remainder of the year, if not ever.
Yeah, and let me make something very clear because our church is called Community Church for a reason. That means you don't have to be a member of the church to benefit from the services that's coming from the church. So you can come in and you can get that information. And if you're satisfied with that and you have a church you already go to, then just go back to your church. But we want to make sure all of the community is welcome into what we're doing collaboratively together. And again, if you got somebody who wants to have some individual counseling and wants some support to get access to that capital, we're not offended by empowering our brother to help you get that done. And when he spoke of credit repair, they can do your business. My wife can do personal. She fixed my credit. That's why she talked about getting a bigger house. So
is there a telephone number, a website, email, what?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to email me at Antonio@communitychurchindy.org, you can feel free to do that. And that's Antonio@communitychurchindy.org. Or you can simply call our church phone number, 317-222-1025, and just leave a message. Because what we want to do, we want to make sure whatever we're doing is coming through the church, and we will get that set up with Pastor Ricky and his wife and my wife. We're all working as a collaborative team to make a difference. And please keep in mind, what is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What can he exchange for his soul? So, if there's some opportunities there for us to also give out some spiritual blessings on, to help people along their way, we're willing to do that as well. Mental health is a component that we're also looking to try to talk about. So there's a lot of different ways we're looking to collaborate. And so hopefully that helps you.
It does. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, brother. Thank you for your call. All right. So we're having a wonderful, wonderful discussion. Anybody, go ahead and share what's on your heart as we come to about the close of our show. We got about 5 more minutes. Mr. Griffin, tell us about this Black Chamber, because we want to see how everybody can connect to the chamber. Because let me say this to you real quick. Dr. Brown said that there are Black marketing and authors and people who could write for the chamber to help get the word out better, so that people can get involved. What do you think about that?
And again, what I stated earlier, we as Black people all want to be the top dog in our own little silo.
Mm-hmm.
We have to swallow a little bit of pride,
mm-hmm.
be willing, that's the key word,
mm-hmm.
to work alongside other individuals,
mm-hmm.
so that all of us prosper.
Yeah.
And so that's what the Chamber is trying to be about.
Right.
And as long as people are willing to come together, we can make things happen.
Right.
So based on what we're talking about right now,
mm-hmm.
that Chamber, in the 5 years that they've been revitalized, they've got a spot downtown,
okay.
right downtown in the heart of the city,
mm-hmm.
across the street from the city county building,
yeah.
at 202 East Market Street. Now, right now the street's torn up. It's
right.
a lot of infrastructure with the city of Indianapolis.
Right.
But if you ever have to go downtown and do business, the Black Chamber is right down there.
Yeah.
And so what we're saying is you can't say that we're not in the heart of the city.
Right.
You can't say that you can't contact us.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've partnered with or connected with a congressman.
Okay.
Let folks know what their choices are, what their options are if they already have a business.
That's right.
So I really want to impair but make people aware that
mm-hmm.
you really need to check in with the Black Chamber. Go to our Facebook page.
So that's what we need to hear, that Facebook page. Go to that Facebook
Black
page.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Black Chamber of Commerce. Real simple. This virtual office hours. It's after hours. It's from 2 o'clock on April the 22nd, 2 p.m. Congressman Carson's office. Somebody there will tell you about how the PPE money and all this money coming from politicians can help you if you qualify. And then somebody from the Small Business Administration. So if you ever had questions,
right,
now's the time to ask those questions and hold them accountable. Because that's the key. We got to hold these people accountable.
Yeah, that's great. And we definitely, like I told, I talked to Anita before. That's how I got your number, Mr. Griffin. And I tell you what, I had your number already, but she told me to call you because you kind of do a radio thing.
Yes.
All right.
Well, and here's the deal. I'm not a spy. You can give my number to anybody. I'm not scared.
Okay, you're not scared. Okay, and we got a lot to talk about off air. What you're trying to do, I ain't going to say nothing about that. But anyway, here's what I'm saying. Let's get on that Facebook page. The Indy Black Chamber of Commerce, get on the Facebook page. Let's everybody sign up. And I'm trying to pay my $200. It say 400. I told I was gonna give $400 for my membership, but just so me and my business would be recognized. Pastor Cease, I'm quite sure he's going to look to join and be with us, and we're going to push it. And you know what? I ain't trying to be a big dog. I just want when I make investment, I want the investment to come back and return and visit the people that I'm pastoring, because a lot of churches are not going to welcome you, but we welcome all those who are trying to do right. Any last comments, Mr. Griffin? I think you got 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds before we get off there, since you was our special guest.
I would love people to support your program, your radio ministry, and your radio show.
Okay.
I think that if you're not sure about it, make sure you call Antonio to find out what they're doing.
Okay.
And if you have any business, please go to the website, Black Chamber of Commerce, and try to be on our call on April the 26th, 2 o'clock.
That's right. Pastor Ricky, you got 30 seconds.
Well, I just want to say the call was enlightful. I like everything I've heard. We will be joining the Black Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Griffin, so that's not a problem. The 22nd, I'll make sure that I'll put that down so that we could be available for that. So I'm on board. I'm one of the ones, a solutionist. I'm one of the ones that we have everything as a culture. We just got to connect the dots. And I believe in execution. Once we have these conversations and we build the framework, let's execute.
Fantastic. So, one last thing. Please pass that information along to anybody and everybody about April the 22nd. We want to have a good turnout.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, you've been listening to Black Power Presents. I've been your host, Antonio Lipscomb. Continue to tune in every week from the hours of 6 to 7. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Peace.
You have been listening to Black Power Presents. We hope that you've been enlightened today. For more information about our sponsor, Minority Contractors Collaboration, and our radio program, please contact us at 317-991-3150. That's 317-991-3150. Or contact our host, Antonio Lipscomb, via email at antonio@mccindiana.org. That's Antonio@mccindiana.org. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to you joining us again next week.